Today, pleased with our approach. Excited to come back home and play the Bears. I know you guys will have a ton of questions about injuries, but with the volume of guys that were banged up, we're still working our way through all of that. So, I'll share an update on Wednesday when I do the injury report. With that, I'll see what questions you guys have.
All right, let's start off with David Newton for the first question.
Hey, Matt, David here. Congratulations on the win. I've got two questions. I'll ask the first one. The Bears have announced they've adjusted their schedule due to a positive COVID test. What, if anything, have you heard from the league or the Bears about possible things that we might have to adjust moving forward?
To be quite honest, that's the first I've heard of that. I've been locked in my office watching the game from yesterday, rewatching it, and then getting ready for starting watching the Bears. So that's the first I've heard of that.
Second question was, we've been asking about Robbie Anderson every week, and he continues to amaze. What is different in Robbie in terms of a route runner and as a person since he stays at Temple?
I think he's the same person. I think, obviously like all guys, he's matured, but I thought he matured a lot during his time there at Temple. He was there for a year, left, came back, paid his own way to go to school for a year, played really well, left for another year, left that year because of academics and came back. But I thought when he came back, he was mature. He was introspective. He was a great teammate. And that's why I had the confidence to vouch for him with Marty and Mr. Tepper this year. And I know the type of person that he is. In terms of as a route runner, I know he had this moniker of being like a deep ball guy only, but I saw him. I saw he has unique ability to track the ball. He's courageous. He'll catch the ball underneath. His catch and run skills are outstanding. So, we saw him, and I think as Joe studied him and as Frizz, who coached him, but they studied him in the NFL, they saw signs of his ability to catch the ball underneath like he's doing right now. So, I'm excited for him, but none of it comes as a surprise. We have a lot of confidence in who he is and the type of player he is.
All right, let's go to Miles Simmons and then Skylar Callahan.
Matt, what's working right now with pass protection? You guys have not given up any sacks in the last couple of weeks.
I think we're doing a good job of making sure that we handle the blitz. Our guys are working together up front as an O-line to handle the four-man rush. Our backs and the tight ends get involved to chip when needed. And I think most importantly, Teddy does a great job of directing the protections to handle the blitzes and to make sure we have the most favorable matchups in our drop back protections. And then the ball gets out quickly, guys get open. A lack of sacks and a lack of quarterback pressures is as much on the receivers as it is on the offensive line. And I know, maybe that sounds, counterintuitive, but it's not. The sooner you get open, the sooner the ball can get out of the quarterback's hands. And so I think like all of our other positions, our offensive line, it gets better and better each week.
Hey, Matt, congrats on the win. Hate to turn to the negatives, but 6.5 yards per carry for Atlanta yesterday. What did you see from the run defense? Was it just not filling gaps, not finishing tackles, anything that you saw in particular?
Well, we know that they were going to come in and run the football. That's who they are, and they do it really well. I thought the biggest issue was just in our movements, our defensive line not getting in the gap and really making it an unclear picture for our linebackers. And then obviously the one explosive run. Those explosive runs, they'll really change the stats in a hurry, as you know. So we have to negate the long run, the long touchdown run. And then, to me, you just have to keep fighting to make 5-yard runs, 3-yard runs. And I think it really starts up front with us being more disciplined about being in our gap. It's not optional. We're not playing optional one gap football. And that's something that, we have to address this week.
Let's go to Joe Person and then Jason Huber.
Hey, Matt, I have two as well. I'll ask the first one. Is there any area where you guys are ahead of schedule? Not necessarily wins and losses, but just areas that you think that you're even further along than you would have imagined?
I don't really have a schedule in my mind. To me, I'm just like, I think I've said a couple of times in the first year, you're just trying to find the right guys and then have them to buy into the process that you're doing. I think they're doing that. So I would say in that regard, I think our guys, even before the wins, have been bought into the process and the things that we're doing. I think, Joe, I think the development of the young players, like, a lot of twos have had to play, especially on defense. In the last 3 weeks, we've had a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter, and the other team's gone to like fast no huddle. And I think I'm right in saying that, the 2-score lead the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks, going back to that Chargers game. And so we've had to play a lot of guys on defense. And, I think when you're looking at veterans out there playing and you're looking at rookies, I think that indicates not only good coaching, but good practice habits by the players, that the young guys are getting developed. And that's, to me, that's important. And I think the third area where we've made the most growth is our special teams. It wasn't a standout this past game, but even being able to punt the ball down there and make a tackle for no gain and make a big hit, those are things that, as I watched the tape last year, I didn't see at the end of last year. And Chase has done a great job in terms of, getting our special teams to the level that it is right now. And there's still a lot further to go.
And then wondered if you, obviously tough news with Dan Quinn. I wondered if you had said anything to him yesterday or reached out since the news.
I talked to him before and after the game. He was unbelievably kind and warm to me. It's the first time I'd ever met him. I don't know Dan. I have not reached out to him just because I don't really know him. But it's probably someone asked me that earlier. It's probably something I should do moving forward today.
Hey, Matt, we know the praise that you gave Mike Davis all offseason and then when he had to fill in for Christian. But now that you've seen him in these last 3 games, what, if anything, has kind of that you didn't see with him before, that maybe, he's impressed you even more, that a certain skill or anything that he's shown you that you guys didn't expect?
Well, I wouldn't say not that we didn't expect. That'd be the only thing I'd qualify. I mean, I think the one thing that he's doing that I hadn't seen was his ability to run through contact. Because we don't, because we had no preseason games, we can't really tackle it a lot during training camp. So, we thud and the ball carrier kind of gets thudded and stops, but the run that sums up the day for me yesterday was, I think it was the screen where he reversed field and he ran through a couple tacklers to get out of bounds. So it was elite physical attributes, but also really, really good mental awareness of the situation. I think that was right before the half. And, that's the thing for me that, I kept saying it, we knew that Mike was a good back. Joe knew he was a good fit. Jeff Nixon, who to me, when Jeff says he likes a back, I always trust him because he's been right over the years so much. He really thought that Mike would do this. I mean, we thought that this is who Mike Davis is. But to see him, again, the physical nature of, trying to punish defenders, carrying piles for an extra yard, an extra 2 yards, those are the things that you don't notice in the moment, but they add up over time. And just because the way we have to practice, I don't know that I ever saw that, but I'm seeing it now.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Mike Solarte.
I have 2 as well, but just to start, I was curious what went into the decision to have 2 guards inactive yesterday and kind of what was the plan if someone, God forbid, had gone down?
Yeah, Trent Scott's been playing guard for us and tackle. Like he played guard until Russell got hurt. So Trent's kind of a swing all 4 guy. Greg, obviously with Russell's, injury, so Greg was up. Trent, because he can, play guard and play tackle. So he gives us another, tackle, and then Tyler to just make sure we have another center, and Tyler also can play guard. So those are always hard decisions. I mean, I love Dennis. I love Sco. Those guys they've played a lot of football for us, but just with our injuries at tackle or the past couple of weeks at tackle, knew we needed some bodies up there, and then Trent would go inside if needed, or Tyler.
And then I was curious, I know you don't want to talk about injuries yet with Dante or anything like that, but what did you see from Troy Pride yesterday? He ended up playing most of the game.
I think Troy's getting better and better and better and better. He's getting more and more confident. And I always feel like for a corner, I've always felt like they need to get at some point burned for a touchdown and then come back and play well and be like, okay, I survived that. I don't know that has to happen to Troy. I think maybe more it's just he has to have that moment, that aha moment where he says, hey, I can do this. I'm good enough to play at this level. I'm good enough to play, man. And he's playing like he's already had that moment. He's out there playing with confidence, doing a good job. There's things for him to work on. There's things for all of us to work on. But the more he plays, the better and better he'll get. He's not getting all the reps because we repped Dante all week as well. They shared the reps in Rasul, and but then he got a chance to play a lot of plays in the game and playing against a great receiver in Ridley, and so he'll learn from this game just like all of us will.
Hey, Matt, I only have one. I'm just going to give you one. I know you guys are a team, but as a coach that has built and kind of resurrected programs in the past, are you guys a team now through 5 games? I mean, where everybody's feeling that they're all pulling the oars in the same direction, and I guess the only person that can really sense that would be you, because you're around these guys and you know how they're coming together and working as one.
Yeah, I think the week after the Buccaneers game was a week that we could have, fractured, or we could have come together. I feel like we've come together each of the last, I guess that would be 3 weeks, each of the last 3 weeks. But I also believe that being a team is a daily ongoing process. Like you could be a great team last week, and then all of a sudden injuries can affect you. All of a sudden complacency can affect you. All of a sudden discontent can affect you. Why is he playing more than me? Why is he catching this ball? All those things can happen. So it's just like a family, just like a marriage, just like being a parent. I'm only as good a parent as my last interaction with my kids, and we're only as good a team as our last interaction with each other. So I thought we played like a great team yesterday. I thought we were a team that played for each other and had a lot of fun doing it. But we will have to do that again this week.
All right, let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Steve Reed.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're well. I don't know if this counts as a question that you want to answer Wednesday, but Christian has been on the IR for the past 3 weeks, and I'm just wondering, where is he in the rehab process? And is there any way you all could activate him this week or next week?
Yeah, I think Christian, I think I'm okay saying this. He'll get a series of tests this week just to see his, or I think today to see his progress. So we'll, once the doctors say he's clear and he feels like he's clear, then we'll activate him. But I'm not sure exactly when that'll be.
Well, Jonathan stole my question, Matt. What is, can you still keep him on IR moving forward if he's not ready this week? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does he have to come off this week?
No, he does not have to come off. It's
Okay.
it's based on I guess him and his health.
Okay. So would you think it's a long shot for the Bears this week for him? I mean, it's a 4-week injury.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be hypothetical with it. I'd wait and see how things go today, and then I'll give you guys a better picture on Wednesday. I'd want to have the doctors tell me based on tests and all that.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Chris Jenkins and then Miles Simmons.
Hey, Coach, I know you mentioned that you were in the room watching a lot of film, and you said that you guys want, as a coaching staff, review games, even if you win, as if you lost. So I was wondering what you could share, good and bad, from your further observation of reviewing the tape.
Yes, I mean, still too many pre-snap penalties. Jump off sides twice on defense. We've false start on offense. Field goal protection still isn't where it needs to be. I thought defensively, we didn't always set an edge to the defense. Too many, crack toss runs around the edge that we have to defend better. Again, I talked about the D-line, the movements and getting in their gaps and really defining things. So to give up a couple, longer runs and then one explosive run is frustrating for us. I thought offensively, I thought we did a lot of good things. We still have this lull coming out of the second half. I mean, we scored 14 points with 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first half. It was, we were losing 6-7, and we scored 14 points in the last 4 minutes, which is, we talk about the middle eight, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half, which was our best all year, and it won the game for us. But came out of the half, and again, on offense, we're not able to move the ball at the level that, we're accustomed to. So we've got to be better on offense coming out of the half. And, we simulated a halftime last week just to get our minds prepared for it. And I think it worked on, defense to a degree, but just not on offense at the level that we want. So there's a lot of things that we have to get way, way better at quickly.
Matt, there's only one target to a tight end yesterday. Now, is that a concern at all? Or, because you're moving the ball and scoring points, does it really matter where the production comes from?
Yeah, I don't ever worry about where the production comes from, but I do think you want to be balanced in the way that you approach things. There were a lot of plays that, were called that would have the tight end early in the progression. if they cover him, then we go to the next guy. So our whole passing game is, really progression based. Hey, throw it to him. If he's not open, throw it to him. If he's not open, throw it to him. And, I think there were a lot of plays that were called where the tight end could have gotten the ball and just with the nature of how they covered it, where, wasn't open.
All right, guys, we have time for a couple more. Let's go to Skylar and then Mike Solarte.
Hey, Matt, Alex Armour has been a guy that has played a pretty pivotal role, I would say, over the last couple of weeks and has kind of taken that opportunity and ran with it. What have you seen from him, and how important has he been for this offense the last 3 weeks?
Well, the last 2 weeks, I've been really pleased with the way Alex has played, and it might not always be in the first half, but we've had the ball and we've been able to run off 5-6 minutes, whatever the time has been at the end of games, to cement the lead and win the game. And we put a fullback in a lot of times to do that. So whether he's been carrying the football or leading the way on power and the different runs that we run, I think Alex has been an impact player. And that was always my challenge to him. The fullback can't be the guy that, fits things up. He's got to be a hammer, and he's done that. The other thing about Alex is he plays really well in special teams. And this past week, when Mike went down, Mike got stepped on. Alex ran right into the game and was a third down / passing game. Tailback was there to run the ball as needed. So he gives us versatility, having another tailback in the game. When we need one.
Coach, on the sack fumble, the Atlanta loss for 21 yards, the ball was out. Justin had a chance for a scoop and score, didn't fall on it. Atlanta did. I mean, the ball ended up getting back in your hands by a punt anyway, but what's the teaching moment there? Is it just get down on it? Is it, are you fine with the attempt at the grab to run it? Or, where do you stand on that? Because it's an opportunity, to change the field, flip the field, change of possession, all that.
Yeah. So we do scoop and score to start every practice. Defense has a little circuit where they punch the ball out, attack the quarterback's hands. And the last one is they run down a line and they scoop and score 2 balls. And, really we refer to it as it depends on whether you're in the city or you're in the country. If you're in the country and you're all by yourself, then you always try to scoop and score. And those are game-changing plays. If you're in the city, if there's a bunch of people around you, then you fall on the ball. And so that might, as I say it sounds a little bit corny, but it's what we've always said. And so I think in that instance, when you're all by yourself, you've got to scoop and score and try to go make the play. Once you try to scoop and score and the ball bounces around, then the second time you just get on it. It was actually, I thought, a great hustle play by their player to go get on the ball. All that being said, to me, it just comes down to fundamentals. When we go to scoop and score, we always want to get to the side of the ball, not right in front of it, so our feet don't kick it. And without studying it, in tremendous depth, I would always tell Justin to pick it up, but it just comes down to the fundamentals of getting to the side and getting our hands in the proper position. And as you said, it worked out for us, but I would want him to try to scoop and score that ball.
All right, we can get one more question in. Let's go to Josh for the final one.
Hey, Coach. I actually have 7 questions. No, I'm just joking. Just one. We saw yesterday that Trey Boston gave out some game balls in the locker room. Is that something that you've done with your veterans, giving out game balls versus the coaches? And how does that how much does that mean for vets to give game balls to other players and vice versa?
Yeah, that just kind of happened because I was joking saying, do we have to give out game balls every game? And Trey said, well, I know there's one guy that deserves it. And he started pointing at Mike, who was standing next to him. I said, well, then you give it to him. So then he did it. And there's it was just really a fun way for all of us to interact and relax and give the ball to Mike. And so, Mike, and I think we gave one to JB maybe, but that just kind of happened, and it was cool that it did. I thought Trey did a great job.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks now.
All right, media, we'll see you guys at approximately 2:00 for player availability.
Do you know who we're getting, Preston?
I don't just yet. I'll check with our group and see who we're thinking.
I won't ask any questions.